Hi, everybody, and welcome once again to this edition of the Spartan Sports Report. And Sam and I are happy to have the athletic director of CHS with us, Brent Duncan, and he's going to talk about sectional.
We'll talk about whatever you want to talk about.
All right.
That'll be part of it.
We'll talk sectional in just a few minutes. First of all, I'd like to talk about wins number 18 and 19 over the weekend.
Yeah, it was a good, solid weekend for us. You know, Franklin County gave us a leg up in the conference.
Right.
Won the ball game. Raised a lot of money for cancer. Between the two schools, we raised over $18,000. So
amazing.
Can't shake a stick at that, but hopefully that'll continue to grow. And then, of course, we traveled down to the river to play Lawrenceburg and got a nice win on the road. Got a big, nice 6'9" freshman kid. And the left-handed guard kind of got hot towards the end, but thank goodness he was cold the first three quarters. So gave us 19 wins on the season, not only for the varsity but also the JV kids. Wrapped up a 7-0 record in the conference.
Good.
And the varsities are now 6-1. And with a little help from our friends to the southwest, if they can knock off Greensburg and knock off East Central Friday night, we'll win the conference outright. But otherwise, we're at least tied for a share of the conference for the boys for the fourth consecutive year. So,
Sam at Lawrenceburg, what was the key to the victory?
I think just good, solid defense like we play.
Playing the Spartan way, huh?
Playing the Spartan way, we were able to build an early lead, 17-3 after one, and I don't want to say we put it on cruise control, but we took control and never let them back. Now they came out to start the second half and scored 6 straight points, and we were able to withstand that. And you know, you hear coaches all the time, and Brent, you've coached that they come out after halftime. They say, well, the first 3 minutes of the second half or first 4 minutes of the second half kind of sets the tone. Well,
yes.
Lawrenceburg tried to do that, but we took it away from them.
A pretty solid ball club, though.
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's
It was a good season.
probably one of the better teams they've had for a while.
Yes.
I think they also have a little kid that's hurt. One of their players has been hurt and out for the season. But if I remember, like Sam said, they scored 6, and so it made it like, I don't know, 32-19 or whatever it was. Seems like it was like 32-13 at halftime. But from that point on, we ended up being like 16-6 or finished the quarter. So it was like 48-22 or something like that at the end of the third quarter. So we were pretty good, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it's something that I find amazing about this team. You don't know who's going to step up. That Noah Belt was the leading scorer with 15.
Yes.
Night before he had just 2 free throws.
Yes.
You know, that's the nice thing about this team, that anybody on any given night can lead that team.
Well, as Shane Russell, my assistant AD, and I talk, he kind of said it's like the old Woody Hayes. It's 3 yards in a cloud of dust, 3 yards in a cloud of dust, and all of a sudden you just worn them down, and now you're up by 20. So just kind of wear them out a little bit, and it seems like the second half we were able to get a little advantage on a lot of teams. So
Yeah, they're always playing catch-up, and that's tough.
well, if you've been around Cary long enough and Coach Brown, you know if you're behind, it's not a good place to be when you're in the fourth quarter, because that 6-point lead to the way we run our offense patiently, and the kids have understood the roles and do a good job of getting the best shot they can get, that 6-point lead sometimes looks like it's 12 or 15 just
Yes.
because the number of possessions you're probably not going to have throughout the rest of the game. So
I was impressed with, Kerry talks about he's pleased with the defense, but he talks about how many points do we get per possession.
yeah, I think a lot of coaches will do that. They'll figure out how many times you have the ball and what positive things happen with them, and then of course they take away from the negative sides of that. But they try to figure out your points per possession, and you, of course, anytime you get above 1 in points per possession, that's pretty solid. So knowing that you're scoring at least a point every time you touch the ball. So
23 ball games have been played. Number 24 coming up tonight at Spartan Bowl with Northeastern coming to town, and that's as many games as you can play during the regular season. 24, right?
well, you can play 20 in a tournament, and in a tournament you can play as many games as you get in there.
Oh,
So
okay.
we
I thought
got-
maybe there's a limit on the tournament.
Yeah,
of
no,
4
it
or
just
something.
depends on how many teams are in there. You know, like the Wayne County tournament probably only plays a couple. So you can play in more tournaments, but if you play in more tournaments, then those count against your 20 games for the regular season. Or you can play 22 games and no tournaments. But this will be the 24th game. Hopefully we'll have 20 wins by the JV tonight, which will only be the second time in school history, I think. And 20 times wins for the varsity would be good to finish at 20-4 with both teams going at the
Be 3 years in a row with 20 wins
Yeah,
or more, correct?
I was wondering how many times we've won 20 in a row, 3 times in a row. So we'd have to go back and do a little research on that.
I
But,
think this
Yeah.
is 3. I don't know before that. Of course, like Fran said, used to be you didn't play quite as
Correct.
many games, so
yeah.
but still quite an accomplishment.
Yeah, I mean, anytime, you know, the schedule that we play and, you know, you can say what you want about the EIC, but there's some solid basketball teams in the EIC. Plus, you know, you're playing Richmond and Newcastle and Mount Vernon. And just over the years, the different teams that we've played, good schedule. Pendleton Heights and Jay County for a long time, and Greenfield, and
Now with New
Shelbyville
Powell.
and New Powell. And it's a good schedule, so to get 20 in that schedule, that's always a great feat. So,
As we mentioned, the Spartans are 19-4, and they're playing the Northeastern Knights are in Spartan Bowl now to play in this ball game. The wins certainly impressive over the weekends. I know the fans that were at Spartan Bowl on Friday night and followed the team to Lawrenceburg on Saturday were very well pleased with the Spartans. Northeastern's 13-8, losing their last game at Winchester 50-45, so they might be wondering what's happening. They have 4 common opponents with the Spartans: Centerville, East Central, Rushville, and Union County. The Spartans have wins over all 4. Northeastern split with Centerville, winning 1 and losing 1. The Knights lost to East Central and have wins over Rushville and Union County. This is the 4th meeting between these schools. Northeastern won in 2015 in overtime, 66-63. The Spartans won in 2016. And last year, the score 2 years ago was 69-56, and last year in overtime, 63-56. There's a little bit of a crowd problem, I think, last year, wasn't there?
well, obviously, if you've been in Northeastern Gym, it's not quite the size of Spartan Bowl, so it was a little crowded, it was a little hot. I remember standing on the end and kept opening the door just to try to get a little breeze on yourself.
A little testy at times too, as I
It has
recall.
been over the last couple
Some
years.
people from the crowd were a little testy.
So hopefully, they've lost some of their better kids over the past few years, but they still have a 6'6" kid and a good-looking guard. So we'll have to play well.
Should be an
tonight,
interesting
no
ball
matter
game.
what. So.
By the way, this is the 8th straight win the Spartans are going for, number 8. They've won 7 straight after their last loss, so that'll be something to shoot for tonight.
Well, it's good to be playing well when the tournament time's rolling around. So, and
Yes.
I think Kerry gauges his seasons and tries to do the sectional opponents early, get through the conference, and get turned back on the sectional at the end. So it's a good time to be on a little streak, and you hope that can continue for a few more weeks.
Franklin County, as you mentioned, were in town on Friday night for the annual meeting between the Spartans and the Wildcats. That was quite a game in the 4 quarters for cancer game, which 18,000, that has to be the most ever raised.
Yeah, it's the most that I can remember
Yes.
being raised, and just a great thanks to all the people who helped donate and the kids at Franklin County and our kids at the high school that took the time
Yes.
to do all the fundraising. We'll try to do something different next year and maybe a little better. So we'll see.
TV3 was at the game Friday night, and here are some of the highlights from that game. Here we go with Spartans and the Wildcats. That number 12 firing a 3.
Yeah, that's Garrett Selcott. He's had a pretty good, solid career
That he
tonight.
often
Be his
does.
last night,
Yeah,
and on the home floor anyway.
he's one of the 7 seniors that
Smitty from
Playing
the
there.
corner there.
signed a regular season game tonight. Yeah, Wes is another one of the seniors.
Yeah, seven seniors plus a senior student manager.
Right.
It'll be a busy night at Spartan Bowls. We recognize our boys seniors between the games after the JV game and the varsity game. And then we'll do our cheerleaders, our Spartanettes, and our band members at halftime in the varsity game.
And the boys get the traditional basketball and the plastic cover.
I think so. I think that's something they started a couple years ago.
That's great.
So probably has everybody's signature on it.
Just where this kid dunks that ball. Yeah, that's what I thought. You
Had a
know,
pretty good one on Saturday night too. So.
Yes, he did.
he's 6'1". The goal is 10 feet from the floor,
Correct.
so he jumps 4 feet. Is that right? Does that figure
Well,
out
the time you figure his arms up over his head, I guess. But
right? I mean,
I couldn't get a foot off.
he's quite a player, and I spoke with the Franklin County coach Eric Ebrams before game, and I asked him about the Spartans, and he said, "Hey, this is a fundamentally sound team, well coached," and he said they've got a player number 12 who is among the top 5 in this area.
yeah, Garrett's solid. He's
Yes.
very unselfish, and if you watch him play, I think he could score a lot more. But he's also willing to dish the ball off to get the people the ball that needs to have the ball.
Well, I spoke with him after the game along with the other seniors, and the first words out of his mouth were, "Hey, it's my teammates that make me good." I mean, that's the kind of young man he is.
Just a tremendous atmosphere
Yes.
every night.
Yeah, Franklin County had a great crowd to come along with ours, and I'm assuming it's kind of like it was back in the 70s.
Yeah, 60s and 70s when it was Brookville.
Just to clarify, somebody thought that was the EIAC trophy. That's just the Cross County Classic trophy. The winner of the basketball game between Franklin County and Connersville gets that trophy each year. So.
That's a good-looking trophy.
And then the Franklin County kids won the trophy for raising the most money, so they have.
Yes.
There's a different part of the trophy for that. So.
Quite a night and quite a game, and as you guys said, the crowd's just great. Are you talking about expanding Spartan Bowl or something? Maybe?
I jokingly told them we were going to put box seats around the top and sell some sweets and lift the roof, but I'd have to have
That can be done.
Yeah, as one of the
As soon as we get the field house built.
person said,
practice.
with time and money, anything is possible. So the time is always good, and sometimes the monies aren't where we need to have them at. So.
Oh, we couldn't ask for a better fan base.
No, it's great. And I think I've heard a lot of compliments from the opposing 80s when I come. It's almost like you're playing at a home game when you're traveling on the road because many times our fans outnumber their fans
we
on
did
the
Saturday
road.
night.
Yeah, I was actually thought we might have more there than what we did, but I know in behind our bench in the second deck was pretty full with Spartan fans, and I can't say that for their side.
Nope.
So.
Yeah, you can hear the crowd. You can tell the difference in the crowd noise, and you know who has the largest number of fans there.
Right.
Most number of fans. Talk about sectionals coming up a week from tonight, Tuesday the 27th.
Yeah.
We have to go to. Well, don't have to, I guess, but we will.
We will be.
Go to Richmond and play at the Tiernan Center. Ticket situation?
Yeah, we were at a meeting today, so we'll put tickets on sale tomorrow morning about 8 o'clock in the athletic office. Just a reminder that the athletic office is no longer over by the gym. It's over in the main office. They are $10 for the entire session. That's good for Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday. Or you can buy single sessions at the door only. So we'll put those on sale tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock at the athletic office. But travel over to Richmond on Tuesday to face Greenfield, and hopefully we'll come home with a win and go back and place Mount Vernon on Friday. But, you know, as Kerry's going to tell them, we're not taking any more than one step than Tuesday. So we're only looking at Tuesday right now. So.
Might be good, though, for folks to plan ahead and get that pass for the entire week.
Yeah, you can buy $10 for 3 days, or you can pay $6 each time you go to the door. So we're counting on being there 3 nights, so you can either pay $18 at their price or $10 at our place, and help yourself and save $8. So
What's the allotment?
I brought 1,000 with me this morning, so if I run out, we'll go back and get more.
It holds 8,100.
Yeah, so everybody just kind of said what they wanted to take. I'm sure by far we took more than anybody. So
Okay.
I don't think anybody else took many more than 100, but that I'm aware of, and some didn't take any. So,
Really?
but come out to the office tomorrow, and we'll get you a ticket.
Again, that's in the main office building where the classrooms are.
Correct.
Okay.
Jackson Hall, very front.
Good deal.
Main doors. So.
When I talk about the sectional here and the lineup, it'll be the Spartans and Greenfield Central and the first ball game on Friday night. So we
Tuesday night.
Tuesday night.
Tuesday night at 6.
We were number 2 pulled out of the hat. They use ping pong balls
Ping
or
pong
pieces
balls.
of paper? Okay.
Ping
do
pong
they?
balls. They
Okay.
put in a machine. They all got a name on them. They pop them up to the top. And out they come.
Okay, I was wondering if it's kind of like a lottery.
Oh yeah. So.
We played Greenfield Central earlier. The Spartans, I think, had a pretty good victory. That game was played here at Spartan Bowl right before Christmas, I believe. December 19th was
40 to 25, I believe.
I think it was. Yeah, it was a big win for the Spartans. They will be opening up the sectional, which is kind of an honor and everything. At a sectional, what can you do and what can't you do as far as bands and mascots and?
Well, we can take bands.
Okay.
Ours are. No one's bringing a band. Ours said they couldn't make it, so no live mascots, as they always say. Can't do posters, can't do banners, can't do noisemakers. So bring your voice, bring your hands.
So no Spartan Warrior?
Well, we could take him, but he'd have to stand off the side in the corner.
Okay.
So
Okay.
Like a cheerleader or something.
yeah, can't really be out in the middle of the floor. So
Yeah. Second ball game will be Pendleton Heights and New Palestine on Tuesday night. The winners from Tuesday will move into the Friday games, and the winner of the Greenfield Central Connersville game plays Mount Vernon.
correct, and that's a tough draw. No matter what, they're always solid. And ball club Coach Doherty does a good job there, and did a good job at Tipton before he came to Mount Vernon. So.
Yes, and the second ball game will be Richmond. They drew the other bye, and they'll be taking on the winner of the second ball game Tuesday night.
Well, and you know Richmond's going to be solid no matter what. And they're on their home court, so that's an advantage, and they're familiar with the surroundings. And New Pal and Pendleton will be tough outs.
It'll be a tough game.
Amongst themselves, let alone advancing to the next round. So New Pal will have all their weapons back. They had to point a guard out when we played him. It's actually the head girls coach's son. So solid little player, had a problem with his hand, but I think he's now back. So that's just another weapon in their fire.
So it should be an interesting 3 days.
Very interesting. And you think about the games we've had the past 2 years with Mount Vernon, lots of overtimes, and I hope we can just win this.
Without
we got to get by Greenfield
like
first.
To have opportunity to play them.
Have an opportunity to play them, and if it goes to overtime, it goes to overtime. But
right.
If we have that opportunity, and
the way Spartans play overtimes, it very well could be overtimes in this event.
It's possible.
Yes. So. The winner Saturday night, a week from Saturday night at Richmond, will be traveling to Southport to take on the regional. So Southport, for the second straight year, will be hosting a regional. And the pairings...
We'll play the winner of the Terre Haute South sectional, which last year was Brownsburg. I don't know much about who's feeding into that one. And the other side would be the Warren Central winner and the Ben Davis winner. So we'll see who comes. Ben Davis and Warren Central are probably odds-on favorite now when they've played each other twice already. They've been close ball games. So
Spartans played Ben Davis in the title game of the regional. Ben Davis went on to win the state. Tell us about Ben Davis. Did they lose through graduation? How are they doing this year? Have you?
Well, they're still solid. I don't keep track too many of them. Just look at scores every now and then. I can't tell you much about their players, but I'm sure Coach Brown has them on paper and all of his staff. But just knowing Coach James, who was at Franklin Central for a long time, and knowing how their kids played last year, he's going to have the same type of system where you're disciplined and take care of the ball, just like Coach Brown does with ours. So it'll be a tough task, and they'll be. I'm assuming they're going to be similar, long and athletic and strong, and it hurt us a little bit not having Bo last year. So hopefully we'll go in with a full arsenal this year. So, but just hope we're getting to play in that chance to take them on and in that night game or somebody.
I was impressed with Ben Davis last year with the discipline they had. Typically, those Indianapolis schools, you don't see the discipline that they displayed, and they were truly state champions. They deserved that win to be state champions.
They beat a couple solid schools after they got out of us. I was really surprised Castle didn't get to the final. They had some big kids, and they were really strong down at Evansville last year. So let's just hope we get through Tuesday night, and we'll take our chances with the Marauders next Friday. So
backtracking a little bit to the Northeastern team, fourth year we played them, a 4-year contract. Will they be on the schedule? Future schedule?
In negotiations.
Okay.
So in discussions with them. So
okay.
I think if we re-sign them, it won't be for 4 years. It might be for 2. But you don't like to just play them one because you either travel there or they travel here. So we're in talks. So
they're down somewhat than what they were. Weren't they a stronger team?
Yeah, they've graduated the Smith kids that played there, and they had
so.
a kid that moved in from Ohio that was a 1,000-point scorer at National Trails, and they're down a little bit, but they're still 13-8. So
yes, and they play a pretty good schedule.
They play some good teams. I mean,
Yes.
they play in the TEC, but they go outside of that a little bit because of the strength of what they had in the last couple of years. So they play some pretty solid teams overall.
I don't know if they go into Ohio or not, do they?
I'm sure they play a couple, I would think, off the edge on the border, but I won't swear to that. So
Yes. Changing subjects here from basketball to the other winter sport that's left, is swimming. Is Connersville being represented in the finals this weekend at IUPUI?
yeah, we actually have 2 sports left. We got swimming, which Zane Spurlock won the sectional in the 50-yard freestyle, 1300ths of a second off of breaking the sectional record. I think he seeded 16th in the 50 or 22nd, one of those two. And he got in the 100 free. He got second. It was close, probably about the half the length of your finger. But he beat the state cut time, so if you get a certain time, you automatically qualify whether you win or not. So he'll be swimming Friday night at the natatorium in the 50 free and the 100 free. And I think he's seeded 16th in one and 22nd in the other one. So we'll be traveling to the natatorium Friday night and hoping that he can get in the top 16, then he can go back on Saturday morning and swim in the finals.
Oh, that would be great.
And then we have gymnastics coming this weekend.
That's right, I forgot about gymnastics.
Sectionals at Spartan Bowl starting at 11 a.m. Lots of teams coming, lots of teams with individual girls, so hopefully the Spartans will place in the top 3 and get to advance to the regional, which is the following weekend, which we're going to host as well. So next 2 weekends here at Spartan Bowl will be filled with gymnasts flipping.
We might go back to basketball for a second and talk about how teams are doing, the area teams. Of course, this is the final week of the regular season. Union County is 16-6. They've had a good season.
Yeah, I mean, we got them early, but
right.
they've had new coaching system, but the system is still there, and some of the kids are the same, and they were solid last year. And I think they're looking to win I would say they're one of the odds-on favorite to win the Hagerstown section for the 2A people.
Right. Yeah, they're 16-6, as we mentioned. They got their win over Union City. They closed the season with Milan on Friday. Cambridge City is 10-11. They won at Seton Catholic, their last game. They closed the season Friday at Centerville. Centerville is 10-11. They won at Tri. They will be home Tuesday, today, to, let's see, they're at Cambridge City on Friday, and they have a home game tonight, and fortunately I don't have that.
That's Wapahani.
Okay, Wapahani. Okay, Richmond is 8-14. They lost at Lafayette Jeff. They're home to Muncie Central this evening, and they are home to Fort Wayne on Friday. Rushville is 7-14. They won at Greenfield Central. They're home to North Decatur today, and Franklin County 7-14. They lost to the Spartans Friday, East Central on Saturday, and their season ends. So that's how area teams are doing in Franklin County, and Rushville will be in the Greensburg sectional.
Yeah, the Greensburg sectional is pretty much the EIC minus us and East Central.
That's right.
And I think Madison's in that one as well. So I think that's just a 7-teamer. But
yeah,
so that'll be a pretty good one. Greensburg and Batesville both solid programs. So from that standpoint,
and you can't throw Lawrenceburg out of the mix with the 6'9" kid, and their guard was decent. And the problem is some of them's played each other twice already, so you never know what happens on that third meeting. So we'll see. But
what about the third meeting? If you play a team third time, what is it that's?
It's not very good if you beat them the first two. But
oh, really?
We'll take our shot. So yeah, usually it depends. Unless they're just a total difference in talent-wise. But
yeah,
they always say when it's the third time, throw the records out first two. So they know you and you know them, so they might do a few things differently. But just wanted to say, we do have an EIAC team in the girls' state finals. Greensburg Lady Pirates are playing in the state finals against Northwestern at Bankers Life, and
wish them well.
Hope they win. That would give us 2 state champions in the conference, one in the fall with East Central, one in football, and maybe the Lady Pirates can get through and win one for the basketball group in the girls. For the
Sam, you saw the Lady Pirates in action.
Solid.
Are they?
Solid team, yes. And I'm not surprised that they're there in the state finals. They've played well. And I was just in Greensburg today, and there are signs up, good luck at state for the girls. And I do wish them well, except when they're playing us. But I think it is good for our conference and helps give credibility to the EIAC when we can advance teams to state finals. And I'm looking forward to the Connersville Spartan boys team advancing state finals here in 2018 as well.
Possibility.
Well, and we also had a wrestler, Mason Paris from Lawrenceburg, won his 3rd consecutive state title at 220. Hasn't lost in the last 3 years. So,
I've heard he's really.
I believe he's ranked number 2 nationally. He's going to Michigan to wrestle, so that's just one more state championship for the EIC. So
yeah, it looks good for the conference.
It does. So
speaking of the conference, the Spartans in 2013-14 was the first year, I believe. They finished 4-3. The next year, they tied with Greensburg.
6-1.
And then they were 7-0 the 2 years ago and last year. And so this year.
6-1 this year. So 28-2, 26-2 in the last 4 years.
I'm wondering if the people.
30-5 over the 5 years.
If the people who invited the Spartans to join the conference have second thoughts right now.
I've wondered about that.
It's all right. Hopefully we'll get that way in all sports, and they can wonder about everything we do. So,
yeah, it was a 6-team conference, and they invited Rushville and the Spartans to join them in 2013. So
it's good. We weren't with a conference, so it was good to get into a conference. And we had tried to get in with a couple different conferences, and nobody wanted to expand. And then somebody wanted to jump ship out of the HHC, so we got lucky. And
the conference we were in sort of disbanded. Then for several years we were, I guess you call them independents or something. No conference affiliation.
Right.
And then it was good to get one because it gives the team another
gives you
goal.
Something to play for.
Sure.
Yeah, gives all the kids a shot at being a conference champion and something to look forward to besides maybe just the sectional. So.
Well, it's great, and if we can get Greensburg to cooperate with us, East Central lost to the Pirates in the first ball game of the season back in November. So maybe Greensburg will say, hey,
let's hope. At least we know we've done all we can do to get to where we're at. Now we've got ourselves at the top. If we get a little help, we'll be champs by ourselves.
That's right, yeah.
We'll share it with them. But
We can put it in reverse and back in.
Yeah, you'd like to have it all your own, but if you share with somebody, that's okay. That's okay.
Pretty good run though, 4 conference championships in a row, and
Yeah, that's right.
looking for 3 sectional championships in a row. It's Spartans are right there and can do it. It's just makes it a lot of fun for those of us that follow it, and I know the community has really been behind these young men.
Yeah, you talk to these players, and they'll tell you what the crowd means to them. I mean, they feed off the energy of the crowd, and vice versa.
I think if you go to a lot of our sports, we have good followings.
Yes.
You always like for them to grow and get bigger, and you'd always like the people that only come and watch Spartan basketball would come and see a few of our other events that our kids doing great at, and they deserve just as many people there watching them and cheering them on. They put in as much time and energy and effort, and so hopefully we can continue to grow that crowd base and get everybody excited about all the things we do in the Connersville High School.
Even though 7 kids will graduate this year, I know Sam, we're both impressed with what we see of the JV team.
Yeah, they're 20 and 4, or well, may back up, 19 and 4 with a chance to get to 20 and 4, and they were 21 and 2 last year as freshman group. So some solid players in there, and if they all learn to work hard and accept the role, whatever that role might be on their team, and buy into the system, there can be more positives coming next year.
I would think when October comes and tryouts, I think the coaches are going to have quite a time deciding what guys make the roster.
Well, it's good to have that. I had a coach me the other day said it's good to have internal competition.
Sure.
Because that way you're pushing each other to get better. It's when you're not pushing the other ones and you're complacent where you're at and you're not trying to steal their spot, then you kind of get stagnant. So you always want that guy behind you pushing you because they can take your spot if you're not working hard, and that creates a great atmosphere overall. So.
And overall, academic, like these kids, they're all pretty sharp.
Yeah, I'd say on the average, we don't have as many weighted grades as we used to have, but I would say on the average the athletes carry around about 3.3 collectively with all the athletes in the school. So solid. You're not quite a low A minus, but right in that A minus B plus range consistently. So
I think it bodes well for the staff in our schools.
Yeah, they take a lot of pride in what they do.
Yes.
And they try to find every way possible to help kids get through what they need to do and the time they spend extra class and helping them at SRTs and getting them after school and coming in before school or lunchtime or whatever it is. So it's always good to see that buy-in by our staff to help our kids get better. We'll be lucky to get any B pro athletes, but we've got to turn out a lot of good students and a lot of good people in society, and I think that's what their goal is to do.
Spring sports coming up. What are your thoughts on spring sports?
Right around the corner. Track has an indoor meet next weekend, but for me, it's hopefully we'll be successful in everything we do, and we don't have a lot of rain because it gets a little scary in the springtime with the weather. So we'll keep people gearing up. First practice is actually March the 5th for softball, and then everybody else starts March the 12th. So they're right around the corner, and they'll start looking at their teams. Right now they're just doing out-of-season conditioning, and pitchers and catchers are throwing a little bit just to get their arms loose to throw, and so hopefully right around the corner we'll be chasing the ball around.
A new facility at CHS. You've got some new ball fields, softball. Baseball.
Yeah, we built the press box and concession stand last year, and we built this fall we built a new softball field. Won't be quite ready for this spring. Hopefully by next spring it'll be ready. Okay. We might get a game in on if we're lucky towards the end, but the outfield grass is not mature enough to be stomping all the time, so it won't be thick enough and plush enough. So, and we still got to get some dugouts built, which our WCC kids are planning and getting ready to do. So, got to get them in before we can get a team on it. So,
thanks, Brent, and viewers. Thanks for watching, and get those sectional tickets. This has been the Spartan Sports Report here on TV3. Thanks for watching, everybody, and good evening.